Many of us see love just as an emotion. We think of love as a deep affection for another person, but we forget that it is also action that comes as a result of the emotion. Seeing love only as an emotion makes it very difficult to recognize love from people that say they love us, or people they don't say it, but show it in different ways. When we appreciate that love comes in the form of action, motivated by deep affection, we can begin to appreciate the different ways that people love us. My Asian culture is quite restrained and implicit. Where I'm from, love often equals responsibilities. Anything outside of this was considered frivolities. I was born in an ordinary family in Shanghai. My father is an engineer. My mother is a teacher. And the family has always been harmonious since I was a little girl. However, in my family, apart from the Chinese New Year, my birthday, my brother's birthday, we never celebrate anything else. I never ever remember the days like my parents' birthday, anniversaries, or Valentine's Day. Because my parents never saw love as a celebration. Instead, they saw love as a responsibility. In middle school, I studied a prose called The View of My Father's Back by the famous Chinese writer, Mr. Zhu Ziqing. In this prose, Mr. Zhu writes about his father seeing him off the train station. And when they get there, his father first makes a fuss of asking the attendants to take good care of his son during the journey. His father then goes through the trouble of getting him tangerines before he eventually leaves the station. As Mr. Zhu watches his father's back leaving the station, tears rush to his eyes. In that story, the love that father can give to his son is the moment when he buys tangerines in a hurry, while Mr. Zhu's love is silently looking back with tears in his eyes. Between them, no words are said. They didn't have to say it out loud. They loved each other. My parents' traditional view about love is a responsibility to give. They give us food, shelter, clothing, and all the good things. They give us their time and even give themselves to children's families too. They're like firefighters because they're usually the ones putting out problems. They babysit for their kids, cook, teach, and sometimes become the bank. That is how our parents told us that they love us. Now that I'm no longer a little girl, I find that I have also adopted my parents' style of expressing love. However, I've taken it a little further than just one-sided responsibility. Let me tell you about Jessica. Jessica is the daughter of a friend. She lived in my home for 4 months while her visa issues were being sorted out. At first, I was very confused about the right approach to being a temporary parent to a girl who was used to being spoiled by 6 adults, her 2 parents and 4 grandparents from her Asian background. The first and the obvious choice was to give her everything, spoil her even. And this is similar to the love that my parents showed me. But I realized that this responsibility to give was one-sided, so I opted for the second and less obvious choice. This choice was to give, but also help her become more mature by guiding her to learn some housework, such as vacuuming, cleaning the bathroom, cooking noodles, and so on. You see, I knew that Jessica had never done anything like that before. So I wanted to teach her a different way to be independent and to care for herself in the future. If I'm being honest, this second choice of showing Jessica love scared me a little because I was afraid of how her parents would feel or that she herself would feel that she was being treated unfairly. Fortunately, it all worked out well because in those 4 months, I started seeing clean bathrooms and spotless kitchen counters. I showed Jessica love beyond just the responsibility to give her the things she needed. I taught and guided her. Jessica, in turn, showed me love by being more responsible with our shared space. Now, we have gained the trust and the respect for each other. In turn, she makes me amazing homemade sweet desserts and gives really good hugs. The differences in the ways that we express love doesn't just cut across different cultures, it cuts across generations. This year, when the COVID-19 broke out, the whole family stayed together. On 14th of February, Valentine's Day, my son Jordan told us that he had ordered a dinner downtown for a special evening. He had booked it 2 weeks ago and hoped that his mom and dad could have the experience of romantic holiday. That happened to be our first romantic candlelight dinner for Valentine's Day ever. My husband and I typically do not celebrate much, and apart from birthdays, other festivals are not paid special attention to in our family. He believes that we do not live on anniversaries or festivals. He believes that when we need to be happy, we do not have to wait for festivals. We can celebrate anytime. But to my son Jordan, love equals celebration of even the smallest things. This is his generation's way of showing love to parents and even themselves. Although it's different from how either I or my husband express love or are used to receiving love, we recognized his gesture for what it was, and that is an action motivated by his deep affection for us, and that is love. So we choose to respect and enjoy it anyway. Observing and appreciating the different ways that people express love has been very exciting for me. But something I find even more exciting than that is the different ways that people identify love. Believe me, it's different. When I was 7 years old, my father took me to his workplace in another city for a week. I already knew a bit about my father's job and how large his factory was. But that was the first time that I ever left home to see the real world. I got to attend the company's big New Year celebration. We boarded a huge ship and I got to eat a lot of seafood. I can still remember every detail of what I saw, what I smelled, and how curious I was, even though it was 45 years ago. From my perspective, even as a little girl, that was love. My parents giving me experiences that I would never forget and showing me the world was more important than giving me a bank. As I've grown older, I've continued to observe the different ways that we show and receive love. I've seen the difference between the way my generation shows love and the way my son's generation shows love. It's all very beautiful and incredibly fascinating. In romantic relationships, there's a term for this, and it's called love language. Love experts believe that there are certain actions and behaviors that a person would only show if they love you, and that they would interpret as love if their partner exhibited these behaviors. These behaviors could be as little as a good morning text, or as flashy as a new Prada boots. I think that this concept, in a much broader sense, can be applied beyond romance to non-romantic relationships. Not only should we express love in our own personalized way, but we should also be patient with others and try to understand and appreciate the language of love that they speak and understand. Love is love, and different people give and receive love in different ways. Whatever it looks like, as long as it's not harmful. You and I can still receive and appreciate whatever it looks like from whomever it is. Please give, accept, respect, trust, and enjoy love. My husband has promised that for next year's Valentine's Day, he would be inviting me to a fancy place for dinner. It's a new expression of love for us, and we are both very excited about that.